Hey, what's up, guys? I need to I've done videos about this before, right? Um, one of the only reasons why I kind of caught on to this is because I've been approached. Okay, like, did you know that you're a Hebrew Israelite, right? Um, Kind of catches you off guard, like, you know what I mean? Uh, but look, I want to to do this respectfully. I really do. All right. Here's the thing, okay? And I've always found that this is just an issue that I got with it. I just do. All right. Now, one of the biggest arguments, and correct me if I'm wrong, because one of the biggest arguments that Hebrew Israelites use is that it's prophecy, that it's prophesized in the Bible, therefore it's true, you know? Now, here's my thing. Without me asking too many questions, right? Why is it that all I need to do is put on the YouTube search bar, Mexicans are not Hebrew Israelites, and you'll have black Hebrew Israelites making the argument that Mexicans are in fact not Hebrew Israelites. It seems to me that among Hebrew Israelites, there is a huge disagreement on who is and who is not a Hebrew Israelite. It appears to me that different individuals are translating the Bible differently. That's what it appears like to me. There's not even a consensus amongst yourselves. There's a debate about that amongst yourselves. There's no agreement amongst yourselves. Now, I don't need to go with that. I could go with DNA. I could just do that, and it's a wrap. You know what I mean? But let's not go there, right? I want to wrap my head around this as much as possible, right? Let's just, use the Bible. That's fine. So, or the claim, or what the prophecies say, right? Now, I honest to God, I want to know where you guys get the following. I need to know this, right? Because I can't even believe, like, in my heart, I don't believe that some of you guys actually believe some of this stuff, right? So these are big claims, right? So if you're going to make a huge claim, you need to prove that claim. You're the one making the claim, right? I don't want to hear, hey, you disprove it. You prove it's not true. No. You're making the claim. So this is all I want to know. Where do you guys get, right, that there's going to be UFOs coming from another planet, right, to destroy, whatever. I've heard the United States. I've heard, all white people. I've heard all types of shit. Okay. So where do you guys get that from? Like, where in the Bible do you get that? I'm just curious. I just want to know where how on earth do you get that there's going to be UFOs coming to save you from the Bible? That's number one. How do you know they're UFOs? Like what? Okay, and not only that, right? Because this is a big universe, right? So if, and this is just not even related to this topic, but it kind of is, I guess. If a UFO, if we ever saw one and we knew from planet Earth, all right, let me tell you something. We're all fucked, right? And the reason we're fucked is because if that UFO has a technology to reach our planet, when we don't have that type of technology, we're fucked, right? But that's it, all right? That's one thing. Wait, I want to. How do you get like from the Bible now? You don't even have to give me like evidence, like real evidence. It's just use the Bible. Where do you get that there's human beings, not only human beings, specifically Hebrew Israelites, some are even more specific, black people, living in Saturn and in Mars? How do you, like, where? I don't know where you got that. I just want to know. Don't worry about giving me like evidence and scientific evidence, information. Don't worry about that. I'm curious. Where in the Bible do you get this from? What verse did you translate that you read and just tells you totally motherfuckers are on Mars? I just want to know, right? And how much faith does it require? Because look, man, I'm a critical thinker, man. I ask questions. It's what I do, right? So, and if there's someone's making a big claim, I demand answers. And if I don't get those answers, then obviously I don't believe those claims are real. All right? It's just that those are big claims. And I'm curious, just using the Bible, what verses, what combination of verses, sometimes they're combination of verses from different books and stuff. I mean, they'll flip through like 20 million pages, like it's the craziest thing in the world. It's fun to listen to. I'm not gonna lie, right? But they're like, verse 1, and they'll like read through it, and then they know where to go, man. Corinthians, Exodus, like whoa, like all right, I hear you. All right, so here's the thing. Right? Now I don't want to hear the whole. Well, in the Bible it says that some will just not believe, so there's nothing you could do to make them believe. Like I don't want to, like, that's weak. Okay, I'm sorry. That's some weak shit. All right, like this whole, like, some people are just not going to believe. Like I've heard that one too much. Just don't do that one, please. All right. I just want to know. I seriously want to know. And if you're a Hebrew Israelite that doesn't believe that there's humans in Saturn and Mars, can you explain to me why some do? Like, what I want to know. I'm curious and I want to know. Right? I genuinely want to know. That's it. Right? I just want to know. Now, some other stuff. I just want to kind of. I want everybody to think about this. Okay. So, from my understanding, if I got this, if I got most of it correct, and you're okay, you could correct me on anything. It's your thing, like, you know what I mean. But if I have the idea of it, is that all the tribes of Israel were separated, right? They were all separated by God. God's not happy with them. He's punishing them. He just separated them all, right? And there's prophecies for all of them, like all these bad things that are going to happen to them, right? But, eventually they're all going to come together, right? Or something like that. How many tribes is it? 12 tribes, something like that? Like, how can you, like, this is just like I just want to make sure this is somehow, with prophecy aside, right? Prophecy aside, Bible aside for a moment. I just want to make sure I got this. So, how is it right? Like, how do those 12 tribes stick together, all of them, regardless of everything that happened? Slave trade, migration, war, all types of stuff, right? But all these tribes, they stuck together one way or another, right? Like I don't know if you guys understand how impossible that is. Like, I don't know if you understand, right? Like how impossible that is, especially with a lot of things that have happened, right? So that's all I'm saying. So I can't speak for all the tribes, right? But I could speak for this. The claim is that the Mexicans are one of the tribes, right? I forgot to write down the name, but anyway, right? Put in the comment section, whatever. The name of the tribe. Do you guys understand? Because it's always been explained to me this way, right? It's been explained to me. What's the Aztecs, right? And the Aztecs this, and Mexican is a Israeli term, and like these are things that have been told to me. But do you guys not understand, right? That the Aztecs were all the way in where we now know as Mexico City, right? North America is a big place. South America is a big place. Like, do you guys get where I'm going with this? First of all, a lot of these Aztecs died, right? Through war and disease. Second of all, right? There's all these, like, the Aztec Empire, which was contrived of three major tribes, right? The Triple Alliance. Were they part of the same tribe too? And if they were, why were they in three different tribes? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, But let's say they still were. Not all Mexicans, or even Mexican Americans for that matter, have a direct link to the Aztec. It's not like a direct link. It's a symbolic link, right? It's something that we're kind of proud of, but it's a symbolic link. But there were many tribes from the tip in the bottom of the country of Mexico all the way to what we now know as California and Nevada. That's a big place, and there were many tribes there. If they were all one tribe of Israel, why were they all divided and fighting against each other and completely oblivious and unaware to this? And I'm not even going to go over where they actually migrated from, right? But that's a different story. That's all I'm wondering, right? Not to mention the European ancestry that's injected into that. And that's just one tribe. You have a lot to explain to do. But that's one tribe. Now, before you say, well, look, because another thing, because they talk about prophecy, right? Well, it says in the Bible that, you're going to be a stranger in your own land, something like that. That's not verbatim, but it's something like that, right? And the idea is, well, look, they took your land, and now you're like a second citizen in your land. So something like that. I mean, look, to me, man, that's just a convenient thing to say, right? Because that doesn't apply to every Mexican. What about the Mexicans that live in Mexico? Okay, what about Mexicans that were born here and they're citizens of this country? Does that apply or not, right? And most importantly, the point I get with that was What about the natives that the Mexican armies were going after? Like, what about them? Were they attacking their own tribe too? Like, what? I mean, where do we draw? Like, where are the lines drawn? You know what I mean? Like, at what point? How do you know what the line is? Right? Because there was no country of Mexico. Right? New Spain, those lines were drawn by the fucking Spaniards. Right? So we say, well, the Northern Native American, which was a bunch of tribes, right? When you say they're a tribe of Israel, right? And the Mexicans are another tribe. So, like, are you telling me that the Spaniards knew? Like, hey, we're going to totally take over California and Nevada, and we're going to draw these lines because we need to separate these two tribes, right? Because it's destiny. So one of these days, they're going to need to know where to find each other. That just sounded, that's crazy to me, right? All right. You're going by lines that were drawn by Europeans, right? And you're conveniently grabbing or taking people from those lines drawn by Europeans, right? And you're placing them as a tribe, as one tribe. Like, what if hypothetically the English never arrived to the Americas, so way later, and the Spaniard invaded everything we now know as the U.S. too, right? And then later it became the country of Mexico. How would you know that the Northern Native Americans, right, were one tribe? How would you know? Because it would all be just the Mexican, right? So I ask kindly and I ask with seriousness for some of these things to be answered. That's all. That's all I ask. Because these are big claims, very big claims, right? I mean, this is stuff that needs to be explained, in my opinion. Like, there's things I believe in that I need to explain if I express that I believe in them, right? So that's all I'm asking. That's it, right? So with that said, man, I'm heading to bed. Peace.